Hey, Broadway.com viewers, my name is Will Swenson, and I'm here to answer your personal, intimate, offensive questions regarding me and all things pertaining to me. So go ahead, ask away. Victoria, no, I haven't let my kids see the show yet. It's a little bit of a PG-13 show, although I have let them watch clips of it, like little snippets. Everything that's been on TV, kind of when we went on Letterman, or the other shows, they've seen all that. And I actually took my 8-year-old boy, Bridger, to the Tony Awards, and he saw us do the number Hair there, and he's kind of obsessed with that number. But as far as the numbers that might raise some questions that I'm, I guess, not prepared to answer just yet, no is the answer. I haven't let them see it. But on Sundays, sometimes I bring them to the theater and they come on stage during the dance party at the end of the show, and we boogie on down, and they like that a lot. This might be slightly embarrassing, but my secret I got from Karen Olivo, who has the best hair in the history of the world, and I asked her once what she does to maintain her luxurious, lovely locks, and she said, and I'm totally ratting out Karen, she said, I don't wash it as often as some people tell you to. Don't wash it too often. So I tried that, and maybe the extra grease and grit and grime and sweat from the show help oil it down? I don't know. Everclean fan. Kirby is fine. I'll explain. I made a movie called Sons of Provo about 4 years ago, 2005 I think we released it. It's about a Mormon boy band. I grew up in the Mormon church, and I guess you write what you know, and we wrote this silly movie about a Mormon boy band who think they're incredibly talented and spiritual, and they're really neither. It's kind of a la Christopher Guest's fake documentary, and Kirby is one of the co-stars in the film with me, and Kirby's fantastic. He's actually, as a person, not as a character, in LA working on a lot of TV shows. You can see him in TV shows and commercials and stuff, but I haven't talked to Kirby in a little while. Maybe I'll give him a call and tell him that you asked. I don't know if I can repeat it on any kind of broadcasted network. One night, I talk to the audience a lot, obviously, and one night this person was not excited to have someone from the show talking to him, and he said, F you, I'm not talking to you, and it was bizarre, because normally people kind of eat it up and they come to the show, it's hair, they know they're going to get people down in the audience, a bunch of hippies kind of all over them, and this gentleman was not having it. Oh, and then one lady one night I went up to kind of give her a hug on my way down the aisle, and she went, "Don't touch me, I have arthritis." So I didn't, but that was a little disconcerting. I'm telling you about the negative ones, but some of the craziest. One girl one night, I was like, "Hey baby, how's it going?" And she goes, "Fine," and she jumped out of her chair like into my arms. If I had not like been a strong dude to catch her, she would have fallen, but that was a little crazy. Sherilyn, a 15-second explanation of the plot of The Stat. No, I can't. The first concert, Janelle, that I ever saw was a band called The Art of Noise. And for the life of me, I can't think of a single song that you would recognize from this band. I think if you remember back in the 80s, there was this Pepsi commercial starring a computer graphic guy called Max Headroom. And I think there was a song behind that commercial that The Art of Noise did. That's the first concert I ever saw. I was a man without an island. Does that make sense? Without a country? What's the saying? I don't know, Emily. I was in the theater group, and so I was kind of ostracized by my jock friends, but I played football also, and so my football friends made fun of me because I did musicals. And so I was kind of like, everyone thought I was sort of a nerd or not one of them everywhere that I went, even though because I was this kind of bipolar high school student, and I still am. I'll switch back and forth on the TV between great performances and the Denver Broncos football game, and my family thinks I'm nuts. But I don't know. I don't Thanks for bringing it up and making it painful for me again, Emily. All of them. The costumes at Rock of Ages are insane. Probably, they made this insane pair of red leather pants for me that, I don't know, they must have cost, I don't know how much, but the best part was the fitting. We had to go down to, I think it's called the Leather Man, down like in Chelsea or in the Village, and I went into the dressing room and there were pictures of genitalia, to say that, all over the dressing room, and the gentleman was like, okay, now you don't wear these with underwear. Take off your pants, and you put your, and then you pull, and then you zip from there. And I was just like, what is happening? And I tried them on, and they were just skin. I could barely get my. And he's like, that's good. No, they need to be this tight because your oils are going to get in there, and they're going to loosen the leather a little bit. And then, anyway, long story short, the red leather pants were kind of insane, and there was this belt. Anyway, all of the costumes were great. If they have, they haven't let on. I've had plenty of people from, I'm from Salt Lake City, and they've come to see the show, and I guess you fear Salt Lake's sort of a straight town, and I guess I've feared maybe that they might have been offended or that the show might be too much for them, but my high school teacher came, and some of my ecclesiastical leaders have come, and you know, the show's about love in the end. I think, you know, there's some language in the show, and there's some sexual content. That's not anything more than you'd see in most PG-13 movies these days. But in the end, you know, the show's about love and freedom and expression, and I think that's the message that reaches people. So far as I know, they haven't been offended. Amanda, I pick out the cutest girl in the entire audience, and I give her my pants. And that's why they went to you. And if you're sitting in that seat, then you get them. I am more of a Mets fan, Emily. I was thrilled that they asked me, except that it was really bizarre because when you sing in a stadium like that, there's about a 3-second delay of the sound. So you sing, oh say, oh say, and you have to fight the sound bouncing into your ears with what you're actually singing. It's one of the more bizarre things I've ever done. But it was very cool. I'm a Mets fan. But actually I'm a Dodgers fan. Go Dodgers. I think that question's impossible to answer, Kelsey, but it's good. It tells a lot about a person. I'll tell you some that I've gone through that I would answer. Tori Amos, Little Earthquakes, incredible album. Radiohead, The Bends is an insanely good album. U2, Octoon Baby is an insanely good album. And lately it's been Ray LaMontagne, Till the Sun Turns Black. Great album. I agree, Jacob. My kids are adorable. They're sort of named after people. All of my family's names are kind of cowboy names. I'm Will and my brother's Cody. And we're from the West, from Utah and California. And so we wanted to kind of use sort of Western sounding names. And I'm possibly descended from a mountain man named Jim Bridger. So we chose Bridger for my oldest boy, and then Sawyer from Tom Sawyer, sort of. So they're sort of named after people. These are good questions. I've always loved Can't Buy Me Love, but lately, of course, because of my involvement with hair, I really dug Imagine and All You Need Is Love. I guess Imagine is a John Lennon song, but All You Need Is Love is something we say a lot around the Hirschfeld Theater. A lot of people ask about that money, especially because it's traveled around on my balls for about 20 minutes of the show. I started out by putting it in a bag in my dressing room, and some nights people have given $100 bills at the show. So it ended up like there was a good chunk of change. And a friend of ours in the theater community had a tragedy kind of happen in his family. And lost his sister through that. And at any rate, we donated it to a shelter that his sister worked at. And it's building up again, so I don't know. We thought about crazy things. We were gonna like weld all of the quarters together and make a statue out of all of my chode change. We call it chode change, but you probably don't know what that means. Doesn't matter. It does fit my personality. I'm a Scorpio, and I'm an early Scorpio, and I don't know much about astrology, but I'm told that early Scorpios, I'm October 26th, and I think it starts on the 23rd. They say that they're the more kind of more typical Scorpios, more stereotypical, and that's being, I guess, I'm told, being passionate and moody and backstabby. But I'm not so much that one, I don't think. Maybe I am. My Broadway debut, should I show you the whole Broadway debut? Can I move a little bit? I'll show you my entire Broadway debut. It went like this. And I'll explain that. My Broadway debut was in a musical called Brooklyn the Musical, and I was hired to be an understudy and a pit singer. So the first night that I was technically on Broadway, I sang in the pit, and there were 5 people on stage that did the whole show, and we sang in these microphones in a converted bathroom backstage. And at curtain call, we walked out and went, "Thank you, thank you." And the audience went, "Who are those strange people?" And that was my Broadway debut. So it was sort of anticlimactic. Here goes. Brooklyn grew up. There you go. You get the soundtrack, you'll laugh. William, I think the answer is no. I'm sure I don't know what you mean, but I'll answer what my favorite snack foods are, just to satisfy a question. I love Doritos of any flavor. I love them. Please come to the theater and just give me Doritos, and I'll be your friend. I'm not even kidding. Bring me Doritos, and you and me will be friends. And I love Oreos, and I love chocolate, and I love Diet Dr. Pepper, and I love Nutter Butters, and I love hint of lime Tostitos. And I love Dove, those little single ones, I forget what they're called. And I love sausage. Next question. Garrett, if you live in Hawaii or Greece or maybe Scotland or Spain, and I will come visit you in your house if you'll pay for my plane ticket. Yes. Thanks for listening to my ramblings as I answered these questions. I noticed as we spoke that I had a tendency to answer the question and then kind of let my voice trail off like this. And I hope that wasn't too distracting. And I realized that my technique teachers at college and my grandma would say, "Speak up, boy!" And I apologize for that, but at any rate, I know. It's been nice talking. Take care.